All right, so how to manage life and still be a great developer. I personally struggle with the fact that I cannot say no to just about anything, but especially if it's something that I really enjoy doing. And I found that to be a major problem in my life. And it took me to evaluate all of those choices and the things that I was doing to really realize, like, how can I actually do these things that I enjoy doing, still be a parent, and still be successful? So these are just some kind of fun tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. So responsibility one, I first started calling these problems. I didn't want to say that my family was a problem, but you know, sometimes they are. So responsibility one is my family. That's my daughter. She is a year and a half old. Before her, it was all boys, and then me. So this is Grayson, he is 6 years old. That is Caden, he is 8 years old. This is my entire family, which is really tiny, but I also have a stepson who is 15 years old. So I have like the huge range of ages. And then I have a dog, and her name is Pixel. So that's my family. So they're my first problem. Also my favorite problem. So, parent pro tip. As we go through the slides, you'll notice a few pro tips. If you don't like constantly cleaning food off the floors, you should get a dog. We didn't have a dog for like a year, and I was like, nope, I'm sick of cleaning up the floors. Let's get a dog. So sometimes you love your family, but there are times, and you may not want to admit it, but I will admit it, that I think about what my life would be like if I didn't have children, or if I didn't get married. This is what I hope my life would have been like. And I elaborate on this, that I basically live in a house full of puppies. But really, when you look at that, like, nothing's gonna change. I'm gonna have to take care of all those puppies. Either I'm taking care of kids, or I'm taking care of puppies, or I'm taking care of whatever it is that I love to do in life. So, brings me back to reality and my choices. So responsibility number two is my job, my career. I work at Pantheon. That's Chris's joke on the fact that we don't know how to press the record button. I'm an agency and community engineer at Pantheon, which essentially means that I help agencies and other developers use our tools successfully. Before that, I worked at General Mills, worked at an agency, and before that, worked at a few different agencies and different businesses as a developer. So my career is like right below my family. I love my job, I love what I do, and it's very important to me. So when I prioritize my life, I need to keep that in mind. So responsibility number three is giving back. Outside of those two things, this is my next favorite thing to do. And unfortunately, there is lots and lots and lots of opportunities to give back. And I always say yes, and sometimes I need to say no. So first off, Coders of Tomorrow is a nonprofit organization that I just started a few months ago that actually teaches kids to code. So we have programs that we are putting together and have put together for all age ranges of kids, and these offerings are essentially like after school. So instead of them doing baseball or track or whatever, I mean, obviously they can still do that, but they can learn to code as well after school. And it's primarily in the Twin Cities, but who knows, maybe it will grow. I'm an instructor for Girl Development in Minneapolis. I was previously a chapter leader, and I made a choice. I stepped away from being a chapter leader to start Coders of Tomorrow. So that was me saying no to something and saying yes to something else. I also volunteer for dog rescues. I do home visits, and puppy parties were like the best thing ever. They like bring puppies to businesses, and people get to play with them, and it's awesome. I also help with organizing tech events like Twin Cities Drupal, as well as our Minneapolis WordCamp. And mentoring junior developers is also one of my passions. So as you can see, I do a lot of crap, like a lot. And so I needed to evaluate how to do that best, especially being a developer. Imposter syndrome as a developer is obviously very common. And it happens to me a lot because I put myself on this, kind of in a situation where I feel like I always need to be doing my best. Like I always want to be helping someone else or doing the best job I can possibly be doing. And as developers, it's easy to have this imposter syndrome where we feel like, am I really qualified to do this job? And I think that I almost put myself on a worse level than that. So all of these tips and tricks have helped me kind of get past that, and also allowed me to spend more time on expanding my skills. All right, so how do we learn new stuff when our life is a disaster? It's time to get organized. Or we can get funky too. whatever you prefer. So my first tip is say no. Like, if you don't love it, if you don't need to do it, say no. This is where Miley comes in. Oh, you don't have sound, I don't think.
Wah, wah.
Oh, man. I wonder. We'll do it from my computer. We won't stop. We can't stop. We won't go. This video is brutal, so we're going to. There we go. Okay. So write down 3 to 4 things that truly matter to you. Like, what is it in your life that you actually want to do? What is your passion? Get rid of the rest. Like, find a way, say no, get rid of it. For me, these are my passions. My family, teaching kids to code. This is when I stepped away from girl development, at least organizing it. My job, and saving dogs. So if it doesn't align in those 4 bullet points, I don't do it. This works at home too. Declutter your house. If you're trying to organize your house, or you're trying to clean a room, like if you haven't touched it and you feel like you don't need it, put it in a tote, label it with to be reviewed later, or however you want to label it, put it away. And in 6 months, if you go through that box and you still don't need that stuff, get rid of it. Like, throw it away. It's gone. Whatever you don't need, don't have it. Pro tip, throw your child's artwork away in the outside garbage. Second pro tip to that, and when they find it, blame it on your spouse. Done this more times than I'd like to admit. Next thing is write everything down, and write it down immediately. I always have this thing where I'm like, oh, it's fine, I'm gonna remember it. I know I'm not actually going to remember it. It needs to get wrote down immediately. And I say write, like, yes, I put my calendars and most of my stuff on my computer and my phone, but there are things that I write down because of the satisfaction of pen, like, on paper. And additionally with that, I also like the little, like, check. And clicking something off in, like, a project management, like, system is not as enjoyable as being able to, like, take my pen and be like, yes, I did it, it's done. So I write everything down. Care culture. Never ever leave a Sharpie unattended. I learned this one the hard way. I now actually have like a lot of marker on my desk from my daughter. So I have a journal that I've actually opted. There's quite a few different options out there in the world. The one that I love the most is called Self Journal, and I actually have it with me if anyone wants to peek at it. But it is essentially a journal that has, I'm not doing a very good job lately, but this left-hand side actually has a schedule. So it breaks it down like hour by hour of things that you're doing. I don't do that until that day because my calendar fluctuates greatly, as I'm sure most of yours does as well. So I fill this in kind of as my day goes on, or in the morning I have a check-in and fill this part out. So this morning I'm grateful for. It is really hard to fill these out, and in the beginning it may seem like, at least for me in the beginning, I was like, oh, I'm grateful for my husband. Like, obviously I'm grateful for my husband. Like, it needs to get to a more granular point before you actually start feeling like it's being a successful task. So for me, this morning, it might have been that I was grateful for, honestly, I had a really bad headache this morning, so I was grateful for Tylenol. Just silly things like that. Not really silly, but they're important. Things that you're actually doing. So the next over on this side is like my goals and today's targets. So for me, this is huge. Like, your actual goals are your big level things, and your targets are the milestones that are getting you to those goals. For example, I didn't originally have slides because I was like, oh, I'm just going to be talking. And then I'm like, well, that might kind of be boring to just listen to me talk all the time. So I got some slides thrown together, and that was within the last couple days. So the milestone of that would have been like, okay, finish the outline, grab images that I want. The entire goal would have been like, get my slides done. Then there's these fun little quotes. If you follow me on Twitter, I post them on Twitter every once in a while. That just so this one says ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again, fail better. They're just really inspirational quotes that I find enjoyable. And then lessons learned and wins. This is great because it actually allows you to kind of reevaluate your day and what you've done, and what did I actually accomplish today, and how did that make me feel. And I know it sounds sappy, but it actually works. And then tonight I'm grateful for. That's also very successful for me because it allows me to kind of look at my day and say so today it'll be hey, I did this talk that maybe I was worried about. I was worried about finishing the slides, and it was fine. everything was great, and it like brings you to that next time that you actually have to present, or the next time that you have to do something, and you're like, I did it, like I can do this. It's fine, I know how to do this. So I really love this, and I know I also struggled with like getting to the paper thing, because who wants paper when we have phones and all these other things, but it is really important. There's another one called Passion Planner. This one's a little bit different. They have like all the calendar, so like this is for like an entire week, and it has like a lot of sections for doodling, and then there's other pages that you can actually like tape into your planner pages. That one's really cool also, but I just veered towards this one, so also a great option. So yesterday, I was in David Needham's talk, who he's a fellow coworker of mine. If you attended this talk, you probably got some super great ideas from it. He talked about the Ivy League method of how to organize your day, which essentially was like 6 bullet points of things that you're like, these are the things I need to get done today. And that's how you prioritize your day. I'm not going to give any more away from it because I think you should watch it, but they already have the video up, and so this is the link to that video. Definitely watch it. I think if you watch that and then start some of the tips and tricks that I tell you today, you'd be like ace in life. Okay, so the last tip is meditate. I personally thought people were crazy when they were talking about meditating. I was like, oh, you're doing some other religious act or whatever, and that's not at all what it is. It's more about like just honing in on what's important to you, and like being able to just like relax and take like 2 minutes to just let your life like calm down. So this is like my most important pro tip, I think. Your keys are always in the other pocket, and you really can't do anything about that. But I feel like they're always in the other pocket. Okay, so how many times have you thought to yourself, what in the world did I do to get myself into this? Like everything is just... Well, that's crazy, my computer's making noises early. All right, I'm sure all of you have had those moments where you're like, what am I getting into? Like, I'm completely stressed beyond belief, and you don't even know like where to go or how to manage it. And this is where I find meditation to be very helpful. Like, there's 2, there's 5 minutes, there's 10 minutes where you just sit and you just like stop and listen to this meditation. And it helps you kind of like reevaluate what's going on. So this nice calming music is from an app called Calm, and there's also an app called Headspace. I personally use Headspace. This is distracting. I personally use Headspace. I knew nothing about meditation at all, not a single thing. My friend had told me like, hey, there's some apps out there for it, you should look them up. So I found Headspace and I found Calm. Ended up going with Headspace. Headspace actually has some kid meditations, which I was like, well, that's kind of intriguing. So I do pay for Headspace. I don't remember if it's monthly or yearly, but I think it was like $12. Totally worth it. So I did it, and the reason why I started it is because my mind like races before I go to bed. It's one of those things where I'm like, I should do this, and I should do this, and I know I need to do that, and like, I should do this, like, this is a good idea. And I just couldn't get my mind to just stop without like anti-anxiety pills or, you know, anything that's, you know, of that measure. And it worked. Like the first night I did it, I just like passed out instantly, and it was amazing. And it's also helped train me to stop doing that. So I don't necessarily actually meditate like every night before I go to bed, but I've done it enough where my body is like, okay, cool, I know how to just like let myself calm down, and I'm gonna just go to sleep. All right, so we're actually gonna meditate. It's like 2 minutes, and this is the one that I make my kids do. Or I made so just a little back information, like my oldest son is like the sweetest kid in the whole world. He would give you his clothes and run around naked if he had to, just to make sure that someone else was okay. Like, he's amazing. My middle child, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. He's sassy and stubborn and not so nice sometimes. And this actual meditation is a kindness one, and it is actually for kids. Oh, I gotta log in. Even though I was already logged in. So if you have kids, the effect of this was miraculous. I had Grayson listen to this, and we'll listen to it too, but it's a shorter one. And it basically was talking about like, okay, think of someone that you love. Like, who do you love? And Grayson kind of looked at me and he smiled and like gave me a hug. So he's like talking about me, like he loves Mom. And he decided, and then it continues to go on like, what would that person absolutely love to get as a gift? So he's thinking, and I could like tell that he's kind of like working through this, and then they're like, let's give that person that gift. And he like gets all giddy and like happy. They're like, how does that make you feel? And he's like, that makes me feel so good. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my crazy, stubborn, mean child is like being sweet and loving. And it was amazing. This is not working, of course. So let's try Chrome instead. Hopefully I don't cut off the slides here. Oh, Firefox, you're being silly. Sorry guys, technical difficulties here. Let's go new window. Does anyone meditate currently? While we're
Yeah,
awesome.
Headspace is great, and especially for like I think technical people, we tend to be skeptical and think it's sort of like I don't know, foo-foo, whatever. But Headspace has a free Take 5 that teaches you how to meditate. It's not like some of these sort of like weird guided meditations. It teaches you the steps you have to take to do it. It's excellent. And there's a book too. Anybody economy. Yeah.
I have the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the book in a second.
So,
okay.
like, if you're skeptical, Headspace is the place to start. They have a free one, Take 5, and
I was super skeptical. Yeah. All right, so this only takes 2 minutes, so we're gonna do it. If I can get it to work.
Hi, my name's Anne.
Can you guys see that okay or not?
Welcome to Headspace.
Okay.
So you can do this exercise either lying down,
Hold on.
whatever feels most
Okay. There's like 2 things going.
for you. In this exercise, we're going to practice being kind. And we're going to start by being kind to somebody who we really care about. Might be someone in your family or a really close friend. And you might find it easier if you close your eyes. So I'd like you to begin by thinking of that person who you would most like to be kind to. And then think about what is it that they really enjoy. If they could have anything in the world, it might be a gift, might be a hug, it could be anything at all. Maybe they want to go on holiday. You have the ability to give them anything they want. And then just imagine giving that person that thing. You see the surprise on their face. You see how happy they look. And just enjoying that feeling of seeing that other person looking really happy. Noticing how that makes you feel to see that other person happy in that way. And then when you're ready, you can just very gently open the eyes again.
That's it.
Hi, my name's Ed.
Like I said, it was crazy. Like the transformation that my son made. Like, yeah, he's kind of back to being a jerk again. But we get back into meditating and chatting about these things often. But it was very helpful for him to realize that it was like, it feels good to be nice to people. Like, it feels good to do these things. So there's kind, there's focus, there's like calm down, there's like going to bed. My older son actually does the going to bed every single night. Like, he has an iPad, he brings it in his room, we downloaded Headspace, he uses it every night to go to sleep. He used to take him like an hour to go to sleep because he'd be like, oh, I need a snack, I need water, I need a hug, I gotta go to the bathroom. It was like the full routine at night. And now it's just like, boom, he's done, he goes to sleep. So it works for adults, it works for children, it's amazing. All right, now my clicker's off, so let me get back in this other window. Let's see, here we go. Cool. So the other option is Calm. That was the noise that we kept hearing that I couldn't make go away. I actually like Calm when I'm going to sleep sometimes. I'll just open the app, and I don't pay for that one. But when you open the app, it actually like makes these really nice like nature noises, so you can choose like what kind of scene you like. And I personally like the sound of rain, so I turn it on like the rain one, and it just sounds like rain is like hitting the roof. So that is another option. And then the book. There is a book by the person who founded Headspace. I'm only a little bit into it. I've actually kind of been jumping around because it actually talks about how to get through meditating without, this is like if you didn't have the app. But the beginning is actually like his story and how he got there. And he has a very interesting story. And obviously the book is not very thick, so it's pretty easy to get through, and I highly recommend it. It's a good book. All right, pro tip. When you need time to yourself, ask your kids to get themselves dressed. As parents, we all know that's a joke. Okay, so takeaways. Write crap down. Get a journal. I don't care if it's a paper journal, whatever it is, like write it down. And if you use this method along with the method that David talked about and watch his presentation, awesome. Like I'm planning to combine the two and it's going to be great. Meditate. It's not crazy, it's amazing. And just say no. Should we listen to Miley again? This one is supposed to be good, actually. And now I don't have my slides open, so I can't click it. See if they'll let me get in there. Nope, can't click it. We can't listen to Miley. All right, there's the survey. So we have like 9 minutes left, which I timed pretty well, actually. Does anyone have any questions or like comments about meditation? I know it's really helpful for you to kind of reiterate. Yeah.
I've been going to try to sleep well lately with my two. The meditation thing for going to bed, is that applicable to that age? Or
Yeah.
Because your sons are a little older.
Yeah, they have, let me see if I can bring this over to the other screen. They actually have a, it's kind of tricky because I can't see it. I'll just open it here and tell you. But they have different age ranges. So like the one that we listened to, I think was like for 5-year-olds, I believe. Let me open it so I'm not quoting what's the wrong information. Yeah, so there's 5 and under, there's 6 to 8, and then there's 9 to 12. So 5 and under, like, they're just a minute. So they're kind of that same thing, but they're just very, like, quick, so you don't lose their attention. And I feel like, yes, it works. Like, my daughter's about 1.5 years, and I haven't tried it with her, but knock on wood, she's, like, amazing and just goes to bed. But I tried it. You never know. The kid ones, you do have to, like, pay for Headspace to get the kid ones, though, so.
Would you add, beginning of the bedtime routine or at the end of the bedtime routine?
We do, so there's one that's called Calm, which actually just kind of calms them down, and we actually do that together. So we get in my bed and we all kind of snuggle together and we do Calm together, because it helps me, but it also helps them to just kind of like calm down. Then we get our jammies on and, you know, actually like get into bed and they get into their beds. And then I leave the room when they do the sleep one. So a 2-year-old would be a little bit different, but with my kids, I leave the room and let them do the sleep one. Yeah. But you can do like, the Calm one you can kind of do at any time, and that's a nice one. Like Grayson was getting really crazy. Again, he's my problem child. He was getting really crazy with Kate, and they kept fighting, and I was like, let's just calm down, and like I made them sit on opposite sides of the room, and I like forced them to listen to the Calm one, and I did like the longest amount of time because I was angry. And they actually like just sat there and they're kind of like, they were upset about it in the beginning, but they got through it and like really did calm down. It kind of forces you, like if you have to sit there and listen to it, it didn't let them leave, so if you're going to listen to it, if you're going to be there, you might as well just listen to it, and it actually works. So I think that it can be used all the time instead of just bedtime as well. So, yeah. Any other questions? Does anyone else have a journal? Does anyone else journal? Do you have like specific ones?
Yeah, I'll show you the one I have. It's
But do you use one that's?
I have a passion planner.
Oh, do you like it?
Absolutely love it. It's great because you
nice.
can track like your week in terms of how it helps you achieve your overarching goals, so like your passions that you plan out at the beginning of the journal.
Yeah.
And then you have like a monthly reflection. And it's really great. I love it.
Yeah. I almost bought, I actually like printed it and did it like last year, but I didn't do it the whole time and kind of gave up. But I only used like some of it, so yeah. This time I'm like dedicated. Yeah.
I've sometimes done morning pages where it's just writing in the morning, and the goal, at least for me, is less like trying to make a plan and just like clear my mind of whatever might clutter it throughout the day. Like if I can just write it down in the morning. Sometimes I just throw the pages away, feeling like I've at least thought about it, and then I can move on.
Yeah, totally. I think that definitely helps.
the one that I have is the 5-minute journal, and it's like based on putting as little as possible into it. So there's like no planning at all. It's like what am I grateful for? What 3 things have I accomplished would make today great? And then at the end, like what am I grateful for at night? So it's just no planning, just self-health.
Nice. Yeah.
So I don't have a question. My kids are already out of college. But when they were very young, what I used to do is actually listen to really sophisticated music with them, like classical music and exotic space music. And I would ask them, what do you think this means? What's this? What do you feel? Do you hear jungle? And that was a very interesting way just to introduce them to something, a bigger concept.
Yeah.
And then also, I would watch old black and white movies with them for just brief periods. And again, just like have discussion about how the characters spoke to each other and whisked around the room and everything. And what does that mean? And I found that just an interesting element with little kids. They were actually completely in tune with people's finest motions in movies and what that meant, and very in tune with the mood that music created. Like, oh yes, I do hear jungle animals and rain. And so, I don't know, I'm just offering that as a suggestion if you want to give another dimension with your very little children.
I think that kids are like, and that's actually why I like left girl development, and I still teach it every once in a while, but why I left to like teach kids to code. Like, I love the innocence that kids have. And they like see everything. Like, they don't miss a single thing. So like, as parents, you literally have to watch everything you do. They don't miss anything. And it's actually quite remarkable. Like, my husband is big into like watching the History Channel, and he's been watching like, I don't remember what it's like some series on like how the world will basically like be gone. And I know it's actually kind of bad, but like my son has been watching it, and like I thought that he'd be worried about it, like this is how we're all gonna die, but he's like, wow, this is really interesting. Like every morning he has turned it on now before going to school, when before it used to be like, I'm gonna play on my iPad or I want to watch cartoons, and he's like been watching the History Channel. So there's a lot of truth to that it's great to like see these real life things and have their own experiences with them. Awesome. Well, I mean, if anything, we can get to the food before everybody else. We're like 3 minutes early. Thank you, guys.